Hello students, today we are going to discuss in our next COA subject in chapter 3 instruction format. In the previous class we have seen the major parts of your CPU. Okay, we have seen the register organization, we have also covered the stack organization. In today's class we will be going to we are going to see the instruction formats. So coming to our instruction format, in this instruction format we are going to have three different fields. One is nothing but your operation code field, second is nothing but your address field, and the third is nothing but your mode field. When you go with an operation code field, which is nothing but your opcode field, specifies the operations to be performed. Whatever the operation which we need to perform in an instruction, that you are going to specify in the opcode field, which is known as an operation code field. The next is nothing but your address field. This address field is nothing but your designate a memory address or a processor register. Okay, so address field is nothing but it will be going to give you the information that where is my data. So indirectly or directly we will be going to give the data. So that data can be in the memory or it can be a processor registers. The third field is nothing but your mode field. The mode field is nothing but it will going to specify the operand of the effective address. Okay, so this is nothing but your mode field will be going to give you the information that where actually the data is available. So this is nothing but the path of finding the data you are going to specify it in the mode field. It is also known as an addressing mode field. Now, let us see that whenever we go with the CPU organization, basically we do have three types of CPU organization. One is nothing but your single AC organization. That means that single accumulator organization. Single accumulator organization. What actually you mean by single accumulator organization is nothing but whatever the instructions which we are going to have, where the one register will be by default accumulator register, and the other is nothing but your it can be a memory address or any processor register. Okay, so by default in all the instruction accumulator will be coming into the picture, and the result will always be stored in the accumulator only. Like for example, if you are going to see here, add x, what it does, accumulator contents will be added with the x. X is nothing but your memory address. It will go to that particular memory address. Whatever the data is there in that memory address, that data will be added with your accumulator, and the result will be stored in the accumulator. So this is nothing but your single accumulator organization. The next is nothing but your general register organization. General register organization is nothing but in a given instruction. Okay, in a given instruction I will be going to use all the general purpose registers to store my data. That means that for storing my destination I will be using one register. To store the two data values, source values, we will be using two other registers. So for that one, let us take one small example over here. Add R1, R2, R3. What it does, it performs the addition between the R2 and R3, and the result will be stored in the R1 register. So this is nothing but a general register organization where I can use my registers. How many registers I want to use, I can use it in a given single instruction. So in this I will be first giving my destination register. Later on we will be going to give the two source register value. So the data will be stored in these particular registers. This is known as a general purpose register organization. Next is what stack organization. Stack organization is nothing but I will be using my stack memory to perform any operation. Like in the previous class class, that is, we have seen that stack organization, where by taking one small equation, we have seen that postfix. We have first performed the postfix for the equation. Later on, we have pushed the data into the stack memory, and we have manipulated, we have performed the operation on the stack memory. So doing that thing is nothing but your stack organization. Okay, so in general, the CPU organizations are of three types. One is nothing but a single accumulator organization. The second is nothing but a general register organization, and the third is nothing but a stack organization. Okay, coming to the next part, the influence of the number of addresses on the computer instruction. Okay, how many addresses are there in a given instruction? So that is very important. Let us take one small example over here. X is equal to a plus b into c plus d. Okay, so whenever we go with any type of operation, basically we are going to have four arithmetic operations. Those are nothing but your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Based upon those four operations, the assembly language instructions will be of add, sub, mul, div. Okay, the next is nothing but your one transfer operation to and from memory and register. Okay, so whenever I want to transfer the data from the register to the memory, or register to the memory, or memory to the register, if I want to transfer the data, then I will be using an instruction called move instruction. Move instruction is nothing but a MOV, move instruction. Okay, next, two transfer operations to and from memory and accumulator register. Okay, so that means that first state transfer of operations will be from the memory to the any register. So for that one we will be using a move instruction. Now if I want to transfer the data from memory to the accumulator register, or accumulator to the memory register memory, then we are going to use two instructions. Those are nothing but your store and load instruction. Okay, store will be going to store the value, and load is nothing but it will be going to load the accumulator with the memory data. So here, operand memory addresses. Operand memory address, we are assuming it as A, B, C, D. Why we are saying it as A, B, C, D? The given equation is what? X is equal to A plus B into C plus D. So here, what is my memory address here? Operand memory addresses are nothing but your A, B, C, D. And the result should be stored in where? In the X. X is nothing but your another memory address. So A, B, C, D are nothing but your some memory address where the data is available. Okay, and to manipulate this particular data, we have used an equation called A plus B into C plus D, and the result, whatever we are going to get it, we will be storing in the X memory address. Okay, so that is nothing but your memory address. Now let us see that how this will be done. We will be going to follow the 3 address instruction format. Let us first start with our 3 address instruction format. Whenever we say 3 address instruction format, it means that in an instruction, I am going to have 3 addresses. So that is nothing but in each and every instruction we will be going to have 3 addresses. So what we are going to do, what is my equation? X is equal to A plus B into C plus D. First, I need to perform A plus B. Later on, I need to perform C plus B. And both the results, I need to do the multiplication. So, what I will be doing? A plus B, after performing A plus B, the result I will be storing in some register. Let us assume that I am taking R1 register. So, what will be my instruction now? And what I need to perform? Addition. Addition means add instruction. Add space. What is my destination register? It is nothing but your R1. What are my source registers? A and B. So what happens here? R1, comma, A, comma, B. what this particular instruction will be going to do, R1 is equal to A and B is nothing but your memory addresses where I need to go and take the data. So M of A plus M of B. Okay, so indirectly M, that is nothing but that data will be added and the result will be stored in the R1 register. Next instruction, next thing is what we need to do. I need to do perform C plus D and the result should be stored in some register. So I am assuming that the result is stored in the R2 register. So what is the instruction I will be using here? Add space R2 comma C comma D. So what it does, C and D are the memory addresses. It goes to that memory address. In that memory address, whatever the data is there, that data will be added and the result will be stored in the register called R2 register. Okay. Now I am having A plus B in the R1 register, C plus D in the R2 register. Next thing is what I need to perform R1 into R2. And the result should be stored in my destination, that is nothing but your memory address X. So what is the instruction I will be using here? Multiplication means mul, M-U-L, mul, space, a destination is what? X, memory address X, comma, what are my sources? R1, comma, R2. So what it does, M of X, it will go to the X memory address. It will be going to store the resultant value, which is nothing but a multiplication of R1, R1 and R2. So this is nothing but a 3 address instruction. So each address field specifies either a processor register or a memory operand. Okay, it is very short programs. Okay, but the main disadvantage is nothing but it requires too many bits to specify 3 addresses. So each instruction I require 3 addresses I need to specify. So that is nothing but your disadvantage of this particular 3 address instruction. Let us see that if I'm using a two address instruction format. 2 address instruction format means it is very easy. I will be having an opcode space. I will be using destination comma source. What it does, destination comma source means destination is equal to D is destination plus source. Like you take one small example over here, there you can understand. First, what I need to do here is nothing but as I'm using only two addresses in a given instruction. First, I will be moving the data values into the registers. So what is the instruction I will be using? Move R1 comma A. What happens? A value memory address, it goes and takes the data and it will be stored in the R1 register. Okay, later on what I need to do, I need to perform A plus B. So A value is already there in the R1 register. So what I will be doing here, I'll be doing here, R1 is equal to R1 plus B if I do. So what happens, it is nothing but your R1 is going to hold the value called A plus B. The previous A value will be overwritten with your A plus B value. So what happens here, add R1 comma B. So what it does, R1 is equal to R1 plus M of B. Next, what I need to do, I need to go with C and D. The same steps. Move R2 comma C. I cannot use my R1. Why? Because R1 is holding a value called A plus B. This should be utilized in the future. So I cannot overwrite that particular register. So we will be going to use one more register known as an R2 register. So a C value will be moved to the R2 register. Later on D value will be added to the R2 register and the resultant C plus D value will be stored in the R2 register. Now R1 contains A plus B, R2 contains C plus D. So next what I need to do, I need to do the multiplication. Mul R1 comma R2. What it does, it performs the multiplication of R1 into R2 and its result will be stored in the R1. So by this what happens, Now the R1 will be going to hold the value called A plus B into C plus D. The previously it was holding the value only A plus B value it was holding. So the previous value will be overwritten here. Okay. Now R1 contains A into B, A plus B into C plus D. So that value I need to move it into the memory address called X. So I'll be using one more instruction known as a move instruction. So that is nothing but your move X comma R1. So R1 data will move to the memory address X. So what is the advantage over here? It is that the most common in commercial computers. So these two address instructions we will be using in the present computer system. Each address field specifies either a processor register or a memory operand. So in the each and every address field I am going to use the registers or I will be going to use the memory address. Okay. So coming to the one address instruction. One address instruction. When you say one address instruction, in all this instruction I will be using only one address. So here I will be going with the concept known as a load and store concept. So first I will be loading the accumulator contents with the M of A. Load A, that is nothing but A data will be moved into the accumulator. Add B. So by default A will be there in the picture. Always accumulator will be there in the picture. So based upon my instruction, the accumulator will function according to that one. So add B. So what it does, accumulator is equal to accumulator plus B, M of B. Okay, next is store T. Store T is nothing but T is a memory address. I need to store. Why? Because accumulator again I am using it. I cannot use any other register. So what happens? A plus B value I will be going to store it in some memory address that is known as a T. So accumulator contents will be moved into the T memory address. Next again I am going to load C. That is nothing but accumulator will be going to hold with the C data. Add D. What it does, accumulator is equal to accumulator plus D. So that is indirectly I am performing C plus D. Now once I am performing C plus D, the resultant will be there in the accumulator. So what is the next thing I need to do? I need to perform the multiplication of A plus B into C plus D. So what I will be using here? I will be using mul-T. So mul-T is nothing but T is going to hold the value called A plus B. So what this instruction will do, accumulator is equal to accumulator into memory address T data, that will be multiplied and the result is there in the accumulator. I need to store this result in the memory address X. So your store X is nothing but you are going to store the accumulator contents in the X memory address. So this is nothing but your one address instruction where I am having only one address. Okay, and all the operations are done between the accumulator register and the memory operands. Coming to the zero address instruction. So we have seen the three address instruction, two address instruction, one address instruction. Now let us see the zero address instruction. Zero address instruction is nothing but I will not give any address to that particular thing. So first thing is what? Push A. So here I will be using only the push and pop instruction to move the data and get the data. So I will be coming with a stack memory concept. So first I will be pushing the data A and B values into the stack memory. Then I perform the add. Add is nothing but it is performing A plus B and the resultant data will be stored in the stack memory only. Next again I will be pushing C and D value. Then C plus D add. Add is nothing but your C plus D. Do I am specifying here any operands? I am not specifying any operands. That is why it is known as a zero address instructions. So add is nothing but it performs C plus D, and the result will be stored in the TOS, that is nothing but your stack memory. Next I need to do the mul. Multiplication is nothing but C plus D into A plus B. Next, once the result is there in the stack memory, what I need to do? I need to read it and store it in the X memory address. So I'll be using a pop X. Okay. The stack organized computers does not use an address field for an instruction add and mul instruction. Okay. For the stack organization, we will not be using any address field. So that is something more. I am not going to specify any address field for the add and multiplication instruction. Whereas push and pop instructions are needed an address field to specify the operand. So for push and pop, we are going to specify the operand address field. Okay. A zero address is nothing but your absence of addresses in the addition and multiplication instruction. So in the addition and multiplication instruction, we are going to remove this particular, we are not going to specify any address field. That is why it is known as a zero address instruction. Okay. So we are done with 3 address instruction, 2 address instruction, 1 address instruction and 0 address instruction. So those are nothing but your 3 address instructions, 2 address instruction, 1 address instruction and 0 address instruction. Let us come with your RISC instruction. When you go with a RISC instruction, we use only 2 instructions. Those are nothing but your load and store instruction when communicating between the memory and the CPU. So I will be using only load and store instruction. All other instructions are executed within the registers of the CPU without referring to the memory. So first all the data we will be going to load it into the registers. Then by using a normal instructions we will be going to manipulate the equation. Once the results are there, then by using the store instruction we will be going to move the data into the memory location. So this is best you can explain it in the RISC and CISC architecture when we discuss. At that time I will explain you in depth. So now let us take one same example, but for your RISC organization instruction, RISC instruction. So program to evaluate for this RISC equation. First, what A and B value I am going to load it into the R1 and R2 register. C and D value will be loaded into the R3 and R4 register value. Later on, we will be using an add instruction, add R1 comma R2, that is equal to R1 is equal to R1 plus R2. Next is add R3 comma R4, that is nothing but your R3 is equal to R3 plus R4. Later on multiplication instruction, mul R1 comma R3. So what happens? It does mul R1 is equal to R1 into R3. So later on the result will be stored in the memory, that is nothing but your X memory. So this is related with your instruction known as a RISC instruction. Coming to the addressing modes, this we will be going to discuss in the next class. How many different types of addressing modes, those things we will be going to discuss in the coming class. Okay, so in today's class we have discussed about the instruction format. Okay, in this instruction format we will be having 3 fields. One is operation code field, that is nothing but your opcode field. Second is nothing but your address field, and the third is nothing but your mode field. So mode field is nothing but your addressing mode field, that we will be going to discuss in the next class. Okay, in this in the CPU we will be going to have 3 types of organization. One is nothing but your single accumulator organization, general register organization and stack organization. Okay, and we have also seen that how different formats of your computer instruction: 3 address instruction format, 2 address instruction format, 1 address instruction format, 0 address instruction format, and the RISC instruction format. So this is done with your today's class, and thank you. Tomorrow we'll be going to discuss in the addressing modes.